The Bank of England has just announced that inflation could potentially go double digits sometime in the near future. A lot of people are worried about their cost of living and what they're going to do. In today's episode, we will look at what the implications of the economic situation is right now in the UK and by extension globally, and what are your options. Welcome to the First Principles channel, where we help people to break down different obstacles in their lives into simple to understand concepts so that you can make informed decisions on how to move forward with the life of your desire. Let's get it. So what just happened? It is the 6th of May 2022, and the Bank of England has just announced that the annual headline rate of inflation is currently 7%, but it expects that it should peak at 10% in the autumn, which is a record high for the last couple of years. We also know that energy bills are going up. We all know why. I'm not going to talk about it. The expectation is that there will be another rise in October by as much as 40%, which will take the average domestic energy bill to above 2,800 a year. That is a lot of money. The Bank of England has also just raised the base rates to 1% from 0.75%, and that's the highest level since 2009 and the fourth consecutive increase since December 2021. So, by all indications, things are about to get rough. The reality is belts need to be tightened, but in all of this presents also good opportunities, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. So let's see where we go from here. So in today's episode, we're going to look at what these indicators we've just referred to, what do they mean for you and I, and we will try and identify a few actions that you should avoid because of what's going on in the world and the economic situation we've all found ourselves in, and what actions you can take to help yourself improve your situation. And you will find that it is not too difficult to take a few simple steps that could potentially help you in managing the economic situation that we've all found ourselves. Of course, the suggestions made here are not to be deemed as financial advice. Look at your circumstances, see what works for you based on where you think you are economically and financially, and what types of risks you're willing to take, and what your credit rating is as well. Nothing here should be construed as financial advice. These are just examples for your consideration. All right, let's go. So what should we expect in the immediate to medium term? As we've talked about, the price of electricity and gas, as if it hasn't gone up enough, will go up some more. In some cases, we will see prices double if it hasn't already. Again, expect food and other basic necessities to go up in prices. And of course, don't expect a lot of companies to be able to increase salaries. Sadly, some companies might decide that they're struggling and they need to let more people go, and this will translate to less disposable income. And if you're having less money to spare, then the reality is you cannot continue to live life the way you've lived, because if you do, then you're putting yourself at risk of going into debt or magnifying a current debt situation that you might be in. And I feel sorry for anyone who's dealing with these difficult situations. It's not easy, but tough times means we all have to take tough measures. So let's see what kind of situations can come up and what kind of opportunities we can also create for ourselves. So what can you do? A few few simple steps can go a long way into helping you manage any financial challenges that you have to deal with. First things first is track your expenses, and this cannot be overemphasized. The reality is a lot of people know how much they earn, but many people are not able to track their expenses. They cannot break down how much they spend on different categories of expenses, whether it's groceries, whether it's eating out or entertainment, whether it's transport or fuel. You need to track your expenses. And what can you do to track your expenses? As much as possible, try not to pay for stuff with cash. Now, some people like to hold cash. That's not a bad idea. There might be certain things you cannot avoid paying with cash, but if you can, please pay with a digital means, your debit card, your credit card. And the reason why is so you can have a record of all your expenses. And once you have a record of your expenses, you're then able to download your monthly bank and credit card bills into Microsoft Excel or some other application that allows you to group your expenses. And as soon as you can group your expenses into categories, so you could have one category being rent or mortgage, and another category being eating out, and another category being entertainment subscriptions, and another category being food, and another category being clothing. Once you have those categories of expenses, then you sit down with your family, if you're a family person, or on your own, and look at what expenses are nice to have compared to what expenses are necessary, and you see how you can cut the expenses that are nice to have. So as soon as you know what expenses you can cut back on, follow through. Be mindful about cutting back on those expenses. Don't spend on things you do not need to spend on, because that is where you will be able to save on expenses, and that is how you'll be able to manage your situation through this difficult period that we've all found ourselves in. And another thing, don't leave your money in some meager savings account. The reality is, even though Bank of England rates have gone up, chances are you're not going to get any increase in any savings product that you get from a bank. And what that means is that you're losing money to inflation. If inflation is going to go to 7 or 10% and you're getting 0.1% interest from a savings account, you're in effect losing 7% value in the money you're leaving in your account. Find ways to create additional or passive sources of income, and then invest in double-digit dividend stocks, and we'll see a few. Sell calls and puts to generate additional cash flow, and we're also going to look into an example of how you can achieve this in today's episode. As always, before we continue, if you like what you hear on this episode and on this channel, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and share with people who definitely would need to see such content. Many people are struggling today. Many people don't have a clue what options or opportunities are available to them. So I'm sure there's so many people on your network that will benefit from watching this video and learning some of the tips that are presented here. So please do us and do your network a favor and share this video on your social feed. And if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, so as many people that subscribe will be highly appreciated. And if you've subscribed, you might as well just hit the notification bell so that you get to see future videos as soon as they're uploaded onto this channel. Thank you so much. We really appreciate every form of interaction that we get. And of course, if you don't like the video, also hit the dislike button or the unlike button and let us know what you don't like in the comment section. Thank you so much. Alright, so let's look at an example of what you can do with the situation we found ourselves, and we'll use electricity bill as the use case here to give consideration to. So let's say you are consuming about 1200 kilowatt hours every month, and you're paying 31p per kilowatt hour and 29p as your daily charge for your electricity. This would mean that your bill right now will be in the range of £381. I don't know what you earn, but for anyone, £381 on just electricity alone is a lot of money. So what can you do? Step one, you want to get yourself a battery bank. Now, a typical battery bank today that will cater to the kind of energy you're consuming will cost you about £3,900. Now, before you get all worked up that, oh, I don't have £3,900 to pay for a battery bank, this is rubbish, just calm down and let's go through this together. You will see where I'm coming from and you'll be able to make your decision. Now, there are off-peak tariff options out there in the market. There's an example. I'm not going to mention the name. I'll leave the name in the comment section and maybe you can go and find out yourself. But there's an off-peak tariff plan that you pay 7.5p per kilowatt hour during the night. So let's assume you've got this tariff plan and then you switch your provider from the 31p per kilowatt hour to the 7.5p, and let's assume you're still paying the 29p daily charge. Then what you can do is set up your power supply to charge your battery bank during the off-peak period, and then you're drawing your electricity from the battery bank during the peak period, which means you will not pay peak rates. If you're able to do this, you can achieve a monthly bill that goes from £381 a month to £98 a month, which will save you £283 every month. Now we want to talk about that £3,900 upfront costs for the battery bank. You can actually take a 3-year personal loan, worst case scenario 9.9%, and you probably can get it even cheaper, but at 9.9% you'll be paying interest and repayment of £128 a month, which means that if you're saving yourself a bill of £283, you can afford to take £128 from that cost savings and apply to pay off this battery bank, and you will continue to earn that savings for the rest of the life of the battery bank. And the saying is that a lot of these battery banks have a warranty for 10 years, and that gives you a net savings in your cash flow of £154, which means that just by looking at this simple option, you can go from paying £381 a month in electricity to having an extra £154 every month that you can invest. And this is where it gets interesting. So what can you do with £154 as savings every month? Let's go to the stock market. Now, assuming you've got £154, you could probably convert that to $192, which you can take to the stock market to invest in a company like IT Tech Packaging. Now, if you look at the stock chart pattern here, we see that IT Tech Packaging is currently going down all the way to about 0.2 cents, and then slowly the last 1 month plus has been rising steadily towards the 0.5 mark. Currently it's trading on the 6th of May at 0.4790. So let's see what you can do with $192 on this stock. Right. If you look at the option chain that expires on the 20th of May for IT Tech Packaging, assuming you bought $192 worth of shares in IT Tech Packaging, you can sell a call that will expire on the 20th of May and get paid 5 cents in premium per share. So that is, you own in multiples of 100 units of these shares and you sell call contracts expiring on the 20th of May, and you will get paid 5 cents per share of each share that you own. What does this translate to in mathematical terms? So we're saying you have $192. $192 will buy you about 400 units of ITP at $0.479 per share. If you've got 400 units and you sell the 0.5 call that will expire on the 20th of May 2022, you receive a premium of 5 cents per share, which means that the total premium you will get for your 400 units that you've bought is $20 before fees. And if the shares do go to 50 cents on the 20th of May and you get assigned, you then have to sell those shares at 50 cents, which means you potentially will make another profit of 2 cents per share. That means if you multiply the 2 cents by the 400 units that you have, you're going to come out with $8.40. So your potential total cash flow from the 6th of May when you got into this position till the 20th of May, if you get assigned, is about $28.40. Now remember, you've invested $191.60 and you've come out with $28.40 within a 14-day period. That is a return on capital invested of 15%. If you annualize that, that means if you're making 15% every 14 days for 1 year, you will almost go 400% of your original investment. That means if you go from, you could go from $192 to almost $800 at the end of the year. That is the power of the stock market. That is the power of knowing what to do to create savings. That is the power of knowing simple tricks and spending a few minutes a day getting educated and making the right moves to take you from being almost broke to being able to pay the bills. So you can see that even though the economic situation looks bleak for a lot of people, it really doesn't have to be so. And with proper education, one can make well managed decisions and mitigate risk that take you from being broke to being the guy who has extra cash flow. Something for everybody to think about in this day and time. And so if you are not doing things to grow your income generating potential, you really need to sit down and think, because things are not going to get any better. Prices are only going to continue to go up. And so it's not enough for you to spend the way you've been spending. It's time to think about cutting down on expenses, investing the extra cash in simple solutions like what we've talked about in this video that could generate you additional cash flow. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button, share with people in your network. Someone in your network needs to hear this right now, and you might be the one bringing them that knowledge. And if you haven't done so, like I said, we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you're the first to see new videos when they're uploaded to this channel. Thanks again. Have a lovely day.